Alright, boys and girls, this is topic 14, and this is adding fractions with models. The first thing we'll do is write down the steps, and then we'll get started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to find your least common denominator, which is your LCD, and you do that by multiplying. Step 2. You'll find your new numerator by multiplying. You'll see that. If we're changing the denominator, you have to change your numerator too. You cannot just leave your numerator what it was before. So if you change the bottom, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So step 2 is you find your new numerator by multiplying. Step 3 is you would draw your fractions, since we are modeling. Step 4, you'll add, and your last step is always to simplify. Remember, you want your fractions in the smallest form that we can get them, and that is your last step. Alright, the first one we'll do is ½ plus 1/6. So following the steps, the first thing we have to do is find a common denominator. One denominator is a 2, the second denominator is a 6. They are not the same. So what do I do to figure that out? Well, this is where your multiples come in handy. So off to the side, I like to list out what my multiples are. So if I'm looking at my denominators, I have a 2, and then I have a 6. So starting with the 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3, 2 times 2 is 4, excuse me. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. And I'm going to stop there. So what you're doing is you're taking this number that's on the outside and you're multiplying by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4. And you can keep going. But I like to do a little bit at a time to see if we can find one in common before I keep going. So you do the same thing with the 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. This is with step 1. Least common. Common means the same. So I'm looking at both rows and I'm trying to find the number that I see on the top that I also see on the bottom. And if you look, I have a 6 over here and I have a 6 down here. So my common denominator is now 6. Let me lower this. So I now know my new denominator is a 6. So that takes us to step 2. Find a new numerator by multiplying. Whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So I'm going to look at the top one first. I'm figuring out how did I get from 2 all the way to 6, and I'm using multiplication. So what times 2 will give me 6? Times 3. Whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So 1 times 3 is 3. Your new numerator is a 3. If you're looking at the bottom, my denominator didn't change, so that one's pretty simple. I multiplied by 1. 1 times 1 is going to stay as a 1. Step 3 is to draw your fraction. So now you're going to no longer look at your old fractions, you're looking at your new ones. So for us, it's the ones in black. I'm drawing 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. My next one, my denominator was a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to show you this drawing in 2 ways. So on this one, if I've drawn out the whole denominator, I only need to shade in 3 of my 6. 1, 2, 3. And on this one, I'm only shading in 1. Step 4 was to then add. All you're going to do from there is count your shaded. So looking at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I combine this, my answer is 4, 6. It's going to give me 1, 2, 3 from there, and then the 1 down here. This equals 4, 6. Looking at the standard form, 3 plus 1 is 4. You never, ever, 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 ever add your denominators. Denominator stays the same. So when we get over here, I guess I can say that you add numerators only. That's why you need them to be the same, your denominator. Alright, another way with drawing this, and this might be an easier way to draw it when we get into mixed numbers, is to just draw what you have. So, and they don't have to be perfect. So, you know you're only going to have 3. Let's draw pieces. Think of the little fraction strip manipulatives, how they come in little separate pieces. Here's one of your 6s. Here's another 6. Here's another 6. There's your 3 there. As long as you know your denominator has not changed, you're adding one more 6 to that group. Well, if you have 3 over here, plus the 1 from over here, 3 plus 1 is 4, and your denominator staying at 6. So you can draw them individually if you'd like to. Alright, let's do another one. One ninth plus 5, 6. First thing is you find your least common denominator. Start off with your denominators and list them. You have 9 and you have a 6. You start listing multiples. We are multiplying times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4. Let's see if we can stop there. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. With your 6, 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 18. 6 times 3 Oh, excuse me. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. I went too fast there. If I'm looking at both rows, I do not both have a 9 or a 6 or a 12, but they both have 18. So your common denominator is now 18. Now how do we get from 9 to 18? Step 2, find new numerator by multiplying. 9 times what gives me 18? 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. On this one, they both changed. How did I get from 6 to 18? Times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Just wrong color. Step 3 is you draw your fractions. Now here's where you have a choice. You can either draw all 18 and shade, or you can draw what you have. On this one, I'm going to draw what I have. I have 2 out of 18. So here's 1 18th. Here's another 18th. Then I have to draw 15 of them down here. It's going to be uneven. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, plus 1 more is 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1. 15. All these are 18ths. Out of 18. Just remind yourself, these are not wholes, these are fraction pieces. And it's 1 of your 18th. So if I have 15 here and I add 2 more, 15, 16, 17. So that means I have a total of 17 little pieces. And again, make it even. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So you have a total of 17 out of your 18 pieces. Coming back to this side, 15 plus 2 is 17. Denominator stays the same. 17 18ths. And that is how you model fractions. Now this is with 2 fractions. You will learn that you will have mixed numbers, is where you have a whole number and a fraction. So that gets a little bit trickier. So that's why we're starting with modeling the pieces of fractions first. All right, good job.